Hey, I'm Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And how was your Friday? Because mine was nuts. And if you're a Texas high school football fan, yours was probably nuts as well. Because we saw something today, November 26th, it's 11 o'clock, that we've never seen before. And that is 6 defending state champs losing in one day. 6 in one day. Half of them all lost. So here's what we're going to do on this instant reaction. There are a lot of games today. We're not going to go through all of them. We'll have them covered on Valley Sports Southwest. We'll have them covered on TexasFootball.com. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the 6 defending state champs that went down. We're going to talk about how it happened. Then we're going to talk about where it leaves the bracket. Cool beans. We're going to go smallest to largest. We're going to start 1A Division 1. 1A Division 1, Westbrook defeats defending state champ Sterling City 44-41, a low-scoring slugfest in the 6-man ranks. Those types of games are awesome. Whenever you get into one, that can be kind of hard to find, but this is, in my opinion, the least surprising of the 6 defending state champs to go down. Westbrook had already defeated Sterling City earlier in the year. This was a rematch of a district game, but Westbrook gets the win again in a nitty-gritty affair. They are through to the state semifinals, where they will draw Happy, who beat Turkey Valley earlier today. So where does that leave 1A Division 1? By the way, we'll also have a new 1A Division 2 state champ, because Balmorhea lost last week. Where does that leave 1A Division 1? Your 2 semifinals are going to be Happy taking on Westbrook, and then Abbott taking on the winner of May and Water Valley. I would say the winner of May and Water Valley is probably the favorite, but at this point, I think that we're in for a real fun slugfest there in 1A Division 1. So that's where we're at with that. Let's now move up. 3A Division 2. As Canadian has gone down tonight to Abernathy, 37-26. This is another one where I don't think it's necessarily that big of a surprise. Canadian looked wounded. I know they had been really dealing with injuries a lot of the year. They looked like they were maybe, this was not that kind of vintage Canadian team, but give a lot of credit to Abernathy. Jess Hull, their quarterback, has been fantastic. They've stepped up in a big way. I think this Abernathy team is very dangerous, and probably now they'll get a rematch with Lubbock Roosevelt now in the regional final, which will be very, very fun because the first time they played, it was a banger. And so, yeah, where's that leave 3A Division 2? I don't think this necessarily impacts anything. I think that we're still looking from the big picture's perspective of probably Gunner and Franklin in a like on a collision course in the 3A Division 2 state championship game. To me, now, I think Wascom, what they did to Newton tonight, should certainly kind of raise some eyebrows on that right side of the bracket, but I do think that for me, I look at Franklin and Gunner on a collision course now still. Gunner's not going to see Canadian in the semifinal for the first time ever, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, Canadian goes down. We'll have a new 3A Division 2 state champ. We'll also have a new 3A Division 1 state champ as Brock avenges last season's loss to Jim Ned by the final score of 70-25. Okay. All right. No, we heard you, Brock. We get it loud and clear. We hear you. I've been a believer in this Brock team for a while. They have been absolutely crushing people. They have the number 1 scoring defense, or at least coming into today. I haven't crunched the numbers yet. They have the number 1 scoring defense in 3A Division 1. Cutter Wilson's been fantastic, and they took out some aggression in this game. They took out a year's worth of thinking about Jim Ned in this one. How does this, and so Jim Ned goes down. We'll have a new 3A Division 1 state champ. What does that do with 3A Division 1? I thought that, and I think that the Dave Campbell's Texas football staff thought that the winner of this game was probably the favorite to win the 3A Division 1 state championship. Now, there's other teams certainly in that mix that you're going to need to pay attention to, right? I don't think it's a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. But what I will say is that Brock looks like the best team in 3A Division 1 right now, and they just took out the defending state champs. To be the man, you got to beat the man. They just beat the man. So what does that do for 3A Division 1? Like I said, I think there's other teams out there that could play spoiler, or I don't want to even say spoiler. Certainly good enough to win 3A Division 1, right? I look at that right side. I think Lorena is cruising. They have a huge win over Columbus. I look at a team. I think that West Mount Vernon game is going to be a lot of fun and could give could give Brock a chance or a lot of run in that state semifinal. But I mean, what Brock's doing right now, they look like vintage Brock, which is a team that wins state championships. So that's 3A Division 2. 3A Division 1, rather. Let's go to 4A Division 2, where China Spring has defeated Carthage tonight by the final score of 27-17? I was at this game. 27-17 was the final. And let's be very clear about what this game was, because I was there watching the game there in Prosper, and this was not a fluke. This wasn't a fluke. China Spring took the fight to Carthage. China Spring got a huge game from Major Bowden, their quarterback, who was a warrior running the ball and hit a couple of big plays throwing the ball. And then their defense really swallowed up Carthage and did not let them get any sort of ground game going and were quick to the football to rally. Now, Carthage tried to come back late, and they very nearly did it. But China Spring held on and did it. They played almost mistake-free football, which is what you got to do to take down Carthage. Carthage's 41-game winning streak is snapped. Carthage loses their second game in the last 83 games. Yeah. And so, we'll have a new 4A Division II state champion. What does that do to 4A Division II? I think there's a few teams that are big fans of China. Obviously, look, China Spring certainly now has an argument to be the team to beat there in 4A Division II. They'll get a big test next week against West Orange Stark, right? But they certainly are going to have something to say about it. Is it a team like Cuero? Cuero has looked very good. They get a big win over Wimberley. They will get Geronimo Navarro next week, who won a thriller over Sinton. Is this the time for Gilmer, right? Is this Gilmer's moment that they've now have that opening to get there? Brandon Tennyson's been cooking. They had a big shootout win over Van tonight. Salina, I think, is the Region 1 favorite. I think Salina has very quietly been mowing people down. They mowed down Snyder tonight, 46-6. I think 4A Division II just got way wide open. This was the bracket where, to me, this and one other one we'll get to, where it really opened up big. That now, that big looming behemoth that you have to beat, the final boss is gone. Carthage was the final boss. They've been vanquished. Now it's anybody's ball game in 4A Division II, and that's what makes this a lot of fun. 4A Division I. We'll have a new champion in 4A Division I as Stephenville has defeated Argyle tonight, 21-17 in a really fun back and forth defensive affair. Stephenville gets a touchdown in the final couple of minutes to pull ahead, and then comes up with a stop on fourth down to get the ball back and win it. We knew that this was an Argyle offense that was maybe a little bit more plodding than explosive this year. And I think Stephenville took advantage of that. Now, their defense was fantastic, and Stephenville had to find a way past it, but they did. And so Stephenville takes down 4A Division I state champion Argyle. What does that mean for 4A Division I? I think next week when you get Stephenville and Melissa, I think that there is certainly an argument to be made that is for at least the catbird seed of winning the 4A Division I state champion. Now look. I also think that 4A Division I is much more wide open than it was certainly last year, where Argyle kind of looked like that team that nobody was going to be able to handle. I look at a team like... So Region 2 is going to be fun. Melissa and Stephenville is a great Region 2 final. Tyler Chapel Hill's beaten Kilgore tonight in double overtime in an absolute thriller. They are now going to go through to take on Little Cypress Mauriceville, who stuns El Campo tonight 24-21. I think either of those teams can win it. I look at Region 4, where we're waiting for Austin, LBJ, and Bernie tomorrow. That'll be a huge game. I think the winner of that game will certainly have a chance to make a deep run all the way and win it all. In 4A Division I, again, it feels a little bit more wide open. I think Argyle was probably maybe a little bit of an underdog to go back-to-back, but Stephenville takes care of them, and now the field opens up. And so that brings us to the final one. Talking about field opening up, South Oak Cliff 33, Aledo 28. Is a genuinely remarkable score. A genuinely remarkable win for South Oak Cliff. And it's bigger than just South Oak Cliff. That feels like a big win for Dallas ISD, which has been besmirched and belittled and beaten down by a lot of these suburban teams over the course of the last 2 decades, 3 decades, basically since like Dallas Carter, right, or Dallas Lincoln when they made the title game with Reginald Samples as the coach. This feels like a win for Dallas ISD, and I think there's going to be a big celebration there. Give a lot of credit to Jason Todd. Give a lot of credit to that defense, which came up with big plays. They found a quarterback that's really starting to cook, and they were able to do what a lot of teams are not able to do, which is to look past what's on the front of the jersey. I think Aledo beats a lot of teams. I think Aledo walks off the bus, and you see Aledo across the chest, and they're up 14-0 immediately. And South Oak Cliff wasn't scared. And that is, I think, a testament to that coaching staff and what they were able to do. And so now we'll have a new champion in 5A Division II. And who's it going to be? Well, South Oak Cliff beat the man. Why not them? They'll get Lovejoy next week. We always thought Lovejoy had a chance to beat Aledo. They won't have to. They would just have to beat South Oak Cliff, although they're certainly going to be a problem. Maybe this is Crosby's time, right? Crosby looks like the favorite. They beat A&M Consolidated in a wild thriller tonight. Maybe it's their time. Maybe it's Texas High, right? If defense wins championships, they're the team with the defense. Their defense has been absolutely fantastic. Maybe this is the time that we're going to get Lubbock Cooper versus Wichita Falls Rider for the umpteenth consecutive year. Maybe the winner of that one gets it. It opens up big. It blows open the entire 5A Division II bracket. And again, much like Carthage, Aledo was that final boss that you had to beat, and South Oak Cliff did it. South Oak Cliff forever will be that team that did it. And it's a remarkable win for them in that program. And so, yeah, those are the 6 state champions who went down tonight. It was a wild night of Texas high school football. There's more tomorrow on Saturday. We'll have you covered on TexasFootball.com.